Hey guys, welcome back to another voiceover video. Today we will be ranking every single starting quarterback from all 32 teams. We're going to rank them from college and how they're doing now in the NFL and what I think they're going to be in the future sometime. So we're going to go from 32 to 1. So let's just get this started. The first player on this list is a quarterback from Washington State and current Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Gardner Minshew. In his last year at Washington State, he had 468 completions for 4,779 yards with 38 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He would finish 5th in the Heisman voting. In his first year in the NFL, he played in 14 games and had a record of 6-6. He had 285 completions for 3,271 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. I don't think this kid is going to be MVP type, but someday he might be really good and look to improve the Jags. The next player on this list is a quarterback from Missouri and current Denver Broncos quarterback Drew Lock. In his last year at Missouri, he had 275 completions for 3,498 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. In his first year on the Denver Broncos, he played 5 games and went 4-1 with 100 completions, 1,020 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Again, I don't really feel like this guy is going to be amazing, but he could also help the Broncos try to make the playoffs soon. The 30th player on this list is going to be Dwayne Haskins, quarterback from OSU and now Redskins quarterback. In his last year at Ohio State, he threw 373 completions for 4,831 yards, 50 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. He also finished 3rd in the Heisman voting. In his first year at Washington, his team went 2-5 and 119 completions for 1,365 yards with 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Again, if he grinds this offseason and the Redskins get some O-line, then he could be crazy sometime soon. The next player on this list is a quarterback from Auburn and current QB for the New England Patriots, Jarrett Stidham. In his last year at Auburn, he had 224 completions for 2,794 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. In his first year with the Patriots, he played in 3 games. He had 2 completions, 14 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Since he was the backup to Tom Brady, he didn't get much playing time, but when he does, I feel like he's going to be somewhat good. The next player on this list is a quarterback from Oregon and current San Diego quarterback Justin Herbert. In his last year at Oregon, he had 286 completions for 3,471 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. He was drafted number 6 overall in the first round this year, and I think he's going to be really good someday. Start off a little small and then start to blow up and become a Pro Bowler, maybe a first-team All-Pro, but we'll see. The next player on this list is a quarterback from Oklahoma State and current quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mason Rudolph. In his last year at Oklahoma State, he had 318 completions for 4,904 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. He also finished 7th in the Heisman voting. In his first year at Pittsburgh, he went 5-3 with 176 completions, 1,765 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. He could be good someday if he doesn't mess with Myles Garrett again. The next player on this list is a quarterback from Alabama and current quarterback from the Miami Dolphins, Tua. I'm not even going to pronounce his name because I can't. After coming off a national championship win and finishing 2nd in Heisman in 2018, his stats in 2019 were 180 completions for 2,840 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He finished 10th in the Heisman voting. This year, he was drafted number 5th overall by the Dolphins. If he stays healthy, he can be something, but again, it's the Dolphins, so we really have no clue what's going to happen. The next player on this list is a quarterback from LSU and current quarterback for the Bengals, Joe Burrow. In his last year at LSU, he had 402 completions for 5,671 yards, record-setting 60 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He would also win the Heisman this year and beat Clemson in the national championship. This year, he was drafted number 1 overall by the Bengals. I really think he's going to be a star one day. If he gets some O-line and defense, the Bengals are really set. The next player on this list is a QB from Duke and current QB from the New York Giants, Daniel Jones. In his last year at Duke, he had 237 completions for 2,674 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. In his first year in the NFL, he went 3-9 with 284 completions, 3,027 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I don't think he's going to be good, but right now he was rookie last year, so you never know. And again, if they get some O-line and some players, big players, they could actually do some stuff.
Trubisky for the end zone and caught touchdown. Pylon touchdown.
Mitchell Trubisky. His last year at UNC,
he has a man there. Holland caught it at the 20. Holland 50, 10, 5 touchdown. Doug Howard. Trubisky.
Last year in the NFL,
end zone touchdown.
306 completions, 3,138 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Since he already led his team to the playoffs, I think he'll be something big someday. And I actually really think he's underrated. And in his second year of the NFL, he led his team to an 11-5 record. And it's not his fault that they actually lost. Someone couldn't kick a field goal. The next player on this list is a quarterback from Fresno State and current quarterback for the Oakland Raiders, Derek Carr. In his last year at Fresno State, he had 454 completions for 5,083 yards, 50 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, while finishing 8th in the Heisman voting. He was drafted 36 overall in the 2014 draft. He started off good, going 7-9 in his second year, and then 13-3 in the following year. In 2019, he went 7-9 again, with 361 completions, 4,054 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. He started off good, but then declined, and I honestly think this will continue. The next player on this list is a quarterback from USC and current quarterback for the New York Jets, Sam Darnold. His last year at USC in 2017, he had 303 completions for 4,143 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. He'd be then drafted number 3 overall by the Jets the following year. Last year, he went 7-6 with 273 completions for 3,024 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. He has been getting better. If he keeps improving this offseason, he could be something. The next player on this list is a quarterback from Louisville and current quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, Teddy Bridgewater. At Louisville, he had 303 completions for 3,970 yards with 31 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He was drafted number 32 overall next year by the Vikings. In his second year at Minnesota, he went 11-5 and then got traded to New Orleans and replaced Drew Brees for 5 games. He won all of those games with 103 completions for 1,384 yards with 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He was traded to Carolina and will now start for them. The next player on this list is a quarterback from Georgia and current starter for the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford. In 2008, he had 235 completions for 3,459 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. He would be drafted number 1 overall the next year. He had his years where he went 10-6, then 11-5, then 9-7, and 9-7 again. But last year he went 3-4 and tied once with 187 completions for 2,499 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. He's a very talented player, but him being on the Lions doesn't really help. The next player on this list is a QB from Eastern Illinois and current 49er, Jimmy Garoppolo. In 2013, he had 375 completions for 5,050 yards with 53 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He had no choice of winning Heisman because he was not on an FBS team. He was drafted number 62 overall the next year he played. He played some games, but he was the backup to Tom Brady, and Tom Brady never got injured, so... Last year, he went 13-3 with 329 completions for 3,978 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. This year, he led the 49ers to the Super Bowl, but lost to the Chiefs 31-20. This guy is going to win a Super Bowl sometime, and he still dominates. The next player on this list is a quarterback from Oklahoma and current Cleveland Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield. In his last year in college, he had 285 completions for 4,627 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. He won the Heisman this year, but lost to Georgia in the Rose Bowl. He was drafted number 1 overall by the Cleveland Browns in the 2018 draft. Last year, Baker went 6-10 with 317 completions for 3,827 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 21 interceptions. If Baker settles down and tries to stay calm, the Browns will make the playoffs. But we know the Browns. They could have Michael Thomas, Nick Bosa, and Derrick Henry and still lose. The next person and final person on this list is going to be a quarterback from Texas A&M and current Tennessee Titan Ryan Tannehill. In his last year at A&M, he had 327 completions for 3,744 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. He would be drafted number 8th overall by the Dolphins. Years going 8-8 and 8-5, which didn't make the playoffs. He then got traded to the Titans. Last year, he went 7-3 with 201 completions for 2,742 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. He helped them beat the 12-3 Patriots and the 14-2 Ravens, but lose to the Mahomes' Chiefs in the AFC Championship. He is pretty good, and I think Henry and him are a good duo together. I would like to see them make another push for the Super Bowl this year. So this is going to be the end of the video. I did the first 16 quarterbacks in this video. I'm going to do the last in the next video for a part 2. I have no clue when I'm going to make that, but I'm going to make some highlights and then I'll make it. So it'll be coming soon. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.